Why is Switzerland so expensive? Here's the short answer. The country is a victim of its own success. If you've ever visited Switzerland, the pristine alpine panoramas may have clouded over after you got the bill in a restaurant or at your hotel.
Everybody seems to agree Switzerland is expensive. The anecdotal evidence is there, and in the press, the big Swiss cities are constantly ranked among the most expensive in the world. Zurich and Geneva regularly make it into the top 10.
To give you an idea of how prices vary, a McDonald's Big Mac would cost you $2.20 in South Africa and Russia, $3.10 in China, $4.80 in Brazil, $5.70 in the US, and guess where you can eat the most expensive hamburger in the world? You've got it. In the Alpine nation, you'll have to shell out $6.70 to eat a Big Mac.
But there's no need to look as far afield as Russia to compare prices. Let's see how Switzerland gets to the top of the podium for being the most expensive in Europe in terms of housing and food. It's in one of the highest positions for almost all other categories of consumer goods and services. Compared with the European average, the only categories where it's cheap to buy something in Switzerland are personal transport equipment and furniture. And the Swiss are very much aware of these price differences. A study published at the beginning of 2020 concluded that Swiss businesses and consumers could save over 3.3 billion francs a year if they were able to source such products abroad directly.
The study focused on orders placed online. Geo-blocking plays a role here. It's a common practice where retailers stop online shoppers from buying cheaper products or services from sites abroad. It can also be the case that foreign suppliers refuse to deliver to Switzerland. The result is that firms and individuals have to buy from retailers or manufacturers in Switzerland, or through exclusive importers, which costs more. The study concluded that if the Swiss could freely buy goods from neighbouring countries, the biggest savings would be in the clothing sector, followed by health-related products, cosmetics, and perfumes.
For instance, Swiss families could save up to 78 million francs a year if they could order nappies and baby food abroad directly at the same prices charged in, say, Germany. The Swiss are so aware of these price differences that they call their country the High Price Island, a common expression that was even picked up by the official Swiss price watchdog. The Foundation for Consumer Protection is campaigning for an end to the high price island. It demands that manufacturers and retailers pass on currency gains to consumers.
So what makes Switzerland a high price island? The question is a long-standing one. Back in 2009, a study found that the Swiss high price island wasn't the result of inefficient regulation or a lack of competition like many had assumed. But the researchers couldn't find any other concrete reasons. In 2015, a study by the Swiss Business Federation, the largest umbrella organization representing the Swiss economy, concluded that it's impossible to avoid high prices in Switzerland.
That's because certain cost factors are either predetermined, for example by topography, or correspond to a need, such as the demand for high-quality products. Higher prices are also partly a conscious expression of the present political will, for example supporting Switzerland's agriculture industry.
Don't forget that high Swiss price levels also correspond, to a certain extent, to the high level of prosperity. Thanks to the productivity and efficiency of the Swiss economy and a strong, value-added export industry, wages are comparatively high. But it's not just that. Local purchasing power, an indicator of what a given amount of money will get you in a certain area, is also very high.
We've seen that prices are high, but wages are high too. Does that mean the Swiss can buy a hamburger without breaking the bank each time? Let's compare standards of living. To do that, we need to take disposable income as the benchmark. The median equivalized disposable income is a statistical measure used to indicate standards of living. If we take this into account, Switzerland is the second best placed country in Europe, with only people in Luxembourg enjoying more disposable income.
This means that despite the high prices in Switzerland, the population's financial situation is relatively more comfortable than that of neighbouring countries, and of most countries in the European Union. In short, the Swiss can enjoy their hamburgers with no regrets, unless they're vegetarians.
Nevertheless, the latest statistics show that 7.9% of the population, or some 660,000 people in Switzerland, are still living under the poverty line.